time, but both of these are pretty complementary to each other. We think the opportunity to use them in the same project is likely, so we're grouping them and therefore launching them together. Officially, this will launch on August 19th, so we're making you aware of it in advance, and we'll go from there. What these are essentially expansions of our plunger options. Also, it's the beginning of we're going to have a trend of launching additional toolless fastening solutions. That's become a big request from customers. As you know, we get about 250 requests to do a special quote every month. And from that, we often find the beginnings of growing needs out there, and more toolless solutions is part of that. So what we're showing today is something that may be perfect for this week's design, or maybe it's perfect for next month's design with one of your customers. But our goal is to always give more options, more alternatives to the design engineers, and give them more choices. So we've certainly had, and I'll show this a few times, the PTL2, that's been around for decades. But now we've got a couple other ones that we're showing today that do it a little different way. And this one may be more appropriate for design that the PTL2 never would have fit in before. So this first one we're talking about is the PFQT. This part is for the likely desire is for very space constrained Z height limited applications. We'll show one in a couple slides, but the action is from the side, and you could do this simply with pressing a finger in there to push or pull on either side. Whereas for something like the PTL2, I need to have space above to fit my human hand above to actuate plunger, right? So I need more height to be able to do this. This part, you do not need it. Another key feature, we believe, is this what we're calling a limitation. So with the standard plunger, if someone was to hit something against it, bump it, you could disengage the plunging action by having something knock into it. With this actually is covering the top of the plunger, so that's not possible to do at all. All these parts, if you have any customer who's using the phrase like modular or swappable, they're going to be looking for quick, convenient ways for them to remove something and put something else in, or replace the thing they removed. But these sort of toolless applications, we really think are beneficial to them. Both these parts have been successful with Weinember sales. This was driven a lot by our customers in Asia looking for different solutions and different ideas. They often come to us and say, well, we don't like this. We don't know what we want, but we don't like this. So this was one of those solutions. So it's the low profile design we think is probably going to be the bigger driver for the applications that would want something like this. Now, where our customers came to us and they were using this solution from 5Tech, but it wasn't satisfactory to them. So they asked for us to come up with something different. And here's why. Though it appears to be low profile, right? That's pretty thin plastic right there. I still need to fit my hand with like two fingers extended like this over it to pull back on these two ramps, these two wings here. So it's not just that the height of the panel fastener, I need access for my hand to fit in there. So that's a lot of extra height within something. They also did not like the fact that that pin could be bumped and therefore come out of assembly. Again, that can't happen with ours. So here's an application. You can see there's obviously no vertical height to play with in here. I can't get my hand above something, but I can certainly reach in and poke it with my finger to lock it or unlock it. Now, as you saw on the previous slides, the standard part is blue for both components, and then the center portion is metal, so it's silver. Here, we've done it in different colors just so people can, visualize the different components. And if for some reason you have a customer who wants green and blue or any other color in the rainbow, we can certainly do that and make each component slightly different. But what you see here is these are in the locked position. But when they pull on this lever, this side of the lever, it turns 90 degrees, and that draws the plunger up into the retainer, and now I can slide back and forth. Once I have it in position, I simply lock it by pressing on this side of the handle and now it drives the plunger down into the hole, locking it in place. These parts come in a mirror images of each other. There's a left and there's a right. This is sitting in the middle, so it really didn't matter which one they picked, but perhaps there's an application where this is going to sit more to the left side, and therefore they want the right actuated lever. But maybe something sitting more to the right side, and they'd rather the lever on the other side. So we've offered this part in both styles, left and right. Again, just depending upon what the customer's orientation will be within the product. So, this looks different than most of the other parts in our catalog. So there's a lot of dimension lines on here, but the bottom line is these are features, the dimensions, the footprint the customer is going to want to see in order to be able to design it in there. So anything they could possibly want is all in the catalog, as it would be with all of our other products. This retainer, the retainer is heat treated steel, so we're capable of going into anything up to Rockwell B80, and we think that certainly covers every sort of application that we've come across in Datacom Telecom, but we expect other markets will need this sort of space constrained application as well. The standard part happens to be Pantone 279C, is that blue color, but again, if your customer has a certain color scheme to match their logo, whatever they want to do, we'd be happy to discuss it with them and quote them a different color or colors. So again, the key takeaways on this are the fact that I can actuate it just coming in directly from the side. I do not need any height above whatsoever. None with a traditional plunger, and none with having to hook my hand over the two wings to pull it back. Again, so it's a lot more height than you see here. It's like a human hand still needs to fit above it to use it. That's not the case with our part. And for some people, yeah, the safety factor of I can't bump this plunger up means with this covering it, it can't happen. So for some people, that'll be important as well. We do sell these parts. We ship them in the locked position. That way, the both the designer as well as the fabricator will know for certain the orientation. There's not a question of is it open or closed. They'll always be shipped in the locked position. So here's what the tooling will look like. There's the Hager part numbers for that, but they'll know exactly where they want to orient it. It's set up to do so. So there's 5,000 pieces of this currently in stock. As I said, we'll launch this on the 19th. At the end of the second half of this presentation, we'll talk about that landing page and how you'll get the collateral for it. But before we go to the next one, I wanted to open it up if you folks have any questions on this style of part at all. Okay, we will proceed then. So the second one is a different type of shape. We'll need height above the fastener to disengage it, but to engage it, I don't need to use my hands whatsoever. I'm simply sliding something in, and we'll show an example of that as well. So think of this, a great visual as Karen came up with is like, hey, the door latch on a door, bathroom door, closet door. You've got that side that is angled like this, and when it hits the strike plate forces the lock in, but as soon as it comes over the hole, it slams shut. Exact same idea here. So as we push something against this rides up, the hole presents itself, and it closes. So this part as well, customizable colors. We've chosen gray for the standard part, but again, we could do it with anything else. It's a rather narrow part versus other styles of plungers. But again, that ramp is kind of the benefit here. And I think this application shows it well. This is one of the lead applications we have for it as a wine number. So I'm going to describe this. There are two different components here. This is one, and this is the second one. All right, so here you see the two components assembled. So picture this edge of the second component. As this is pushed towards it, that edge is going to force this ramp to rise. But as soon as this complete hole is presented underneath of it, that spring forces it back down, locks it in place. So again, it's a sliding in. The assembly process is sort of automated. There's no extra step. If they have to slide it in, by sliding it in, will make that assembly for them. They need to disassemble it, then like another plunger, you pull up on it and pull this out of the hole and you slide it back out. But again, the install, the assembly, the initial assembly can be done without any tools and done without any extra action. Just the sliding action forces that ramp to drive it up, and then it slams into the hole. This part does require a non-round hole, but at first glance, people are like, "Oh, well, that seems odd." Well, we've crossed that bridge a long time ago. Our wrangles, our cable tie mounts, those TD mounts, they both require rectangular holes. So to ask a fabricator, to ask a designer to design in a non-round hole is not a difficulty for them. They can't drill it, but most people punch or laser cut now anyway. But the important reason for this is that it ensures, if you can see in the image here, that's where that flat is. This ensures that it is oriented in the correct location. So this flat is opposite directly this ramp. So they know where the interaction will be. They put the flat parallel essentially to that. That will tell them it's in the right position. Because from above, it'll kind of look that way. You'll see a little bit here, but the fact that it's a non-round hole, that ensures that this isn't turned 90 degrees in the wrong direction. It's going to ensure that it's positioned exactly so that when this panel slides in and hits it, drives up the plunger, and then the hole is now centered underneath of it, the plunger is forced down by the spring action, and it's there. Right up here is where the mounting hole, that hole and sheet, would be in the panel that we're clinched into. So this is the second panel that's going to be sliding and interacting with this ramp, and will be clinched up here. This as well is heat treated so that we can go into up to Rockwell B80. Again, we can do certainly any color that your customer may desire. The install picture here. So again, we're going to press this in, just like a hex head standoff goes into a non-hex head hole. This is just going to go into a D-shaped hole, but we're still going to press it in. We're going to get clinching and metal movement from here into the undercut. So it's similar to a standoff like install, clinching action. 1,300 newtons, we think that's very strong. And we think customers are going to like the idea of one or the other, or they may still be perfectly happy with the PTL too. But by having these additional parts out there gives those design engineers, we like to say that it gives them alternatives. We give them something else to consider in a design that they may not have even been aware was possible before. So this as well, we have about 5,000 of these in stock. When this is launched on the 19th, as with all new launches, Mike Rossi will have available for you a collateral page where you could go and get drawings. There will be animations. Animations for these two products probably are not going to be done by the 19th, but they will ultimately be done because we know that's going to show well how to install it, how the part acts. This PowerPoint we combined just so it was in, it flowed well today, but there'll be two separate. There'll be a PFAP, there'll be a PFQT PowerPoint that'll be available to you as well. And again, we're excited to launch this. So now, this was led by our new product development team in Kunshan. You certainly know myself and Karen as well for a while now. So any questions you happen to have, we'd be glad to answer now, or as they develop as time goes on, please contact us. So I'll first open up to any questions, and then I think Karen's going to have some comments she'd like to make on this and future releases as well.
I have one question.
Great, Kevin.
And the PFQT, does it needs to be dismantled during installation, or can it be installed in this kind of mounted already situation?
It's fully assembled. Let me go back up to the installation image. So it will be come out of the bag oriented in the locked condition, but it's one solid piece. I mean, it's three components, but it's more than that. But the customer will only see one piece. They'll drop it into this tooling and assemble it. There's nothing that they need to do to put it together. if that was your
Okay, I
question.
see. Yep,
Yeah,
that was my question. Absolutely.
great,
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't think any customer would want to have to assemble these once they're, yes, it's just
Oh, there you
size
go.
wise.
Great.
I just wanted to show you the difference in the size. So the quarter turn is the size of your thumb. The auto lock is very small, gets out of the way, and as Jay was saying, as you install it, there is a flat to orient it, so you install it correctly in the right orientation, and then it slides like a door, and you don't touch it. It's like closing a door. You don't touch it. When you want to open the door, you have to twist the handle or pull the plunger back up. So you just pull the plunger back up, gets it out of the way. You're allowed to remove it. It pops back. The auto position is down. So as it slides in, it auto locks in place. And it is available in various colors. I was looking, I had a couple of colors. I have blue and I have gray here now. So if your customer needs a different color, we can easily, we can easily change the colors.
Yeah, like there's one big networking company that we do a specific gray that's their specific gray color. As long as you have a Pantone number or what's known as an LAB number, most people use Pantone, we can make something in that color for them. And so we can match any logo or color scheme that they want to occur. And one thing I always try to emphasize when we come out with new products is typically these new products have come out from wine number successes. And we say, well, look, those people need to ask us to design something special for them. And then someone else needs something similar. And then we start thinking, well, these were fortunately people who knew to raise their hand and ask, but many don't. So we want to keep adding things to the catalog. My point on that is we have a lot of other versions of these that so far we've said, they're probably one-offs, right? We satisfy one customer, they're very happy, but maybe this doesn't apply for others. But the point is, if your customer comes to you and says, that's kind of cool, but I'd like it to maybe do this, we may have already done that. Never hesitate to bring that wish list from a customer, because I think we've got about 100 other iterations of things like this, literally, that we may say, oh, look, we'll pull that off the shelf and redesign it for your customer. So never think anything's out of the realm of possibility. There will be some things that we may say, it's going to take a little longer to design, but we've got some smart engineers around the world to design this stuff. And again, there's likely something close already to what your customer may ask for. So never hesitate to bring that up.
As Jay said, this is a beginning of a long series that we plan on launching into the catalog. We have, as Jay mentioned, a couple hundred of these parts already, and we're picking the ones that we feel have a broader target audience. So the only other question that I wanted to answer is on previous trainings, people have asked, what's the force to turn it? It's not gonna wiggle into place by accident, but it doesn't take much force. So I mean, it doesn't. You're not going to accidentally bump it, but it doesn't take it. I mean, you can easily do it with one finger. So that was the exact force. We didn't measure yet, and if you need that, but it's simple, and a finger moves it with ease.
Yeah, clearly that demonstration shows that there's no struggle, but it's not going to happen by mistake. And that's very important too. Yeah. Sure.
And if you get any feedback from a customer that they want it smaller, if they want it larger, if they want it, more actuation or less actuation, reach out to us and we can change the spring. We can change this is a good conversation. Hey, look at, PEM has new stuff. We'd like to come talk to you. What do you need? Yep. And if you ever need support, reach out to Jay, myself, Jesse Atlas. We will be more than happy to, do a web with you or participate in person if that's more appropriate.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. As I say, on the 19th, you will be sent an email that will include the links to this collateral page where you'll be able to have quick access to drawings and all that sort of stuff. But those things will also be available for customers on our website when it goes live. There'll be a landing page for these new parts. As I say, the animations will come probably not by then, but definitely soon after. We certainly know the value in having animations for all of our parts. So, all right. Well. Yes, Karen, go ahead.
For 1 second. I wanted to, and we've been doing the training with some of the other, with our distributors lately. And there were a lot that were not aware that we have a landing page for new products.
Hmm.
So if you start with PEMnet.com, our landing page, and you slide down just a little, our latest innovations is right on the landing from our homepage. It's the second section down. You click on this. And these are our most recently launched products. And these two will be on this page as soon as they're officially launched. But these are the products we've launched in the last few years. Our most recent is always available. So when you have a customer that, hey, look what we've done recently, this page is readily available. And I thought everybody knew, but we found out not everybody knows. So now you know.
All right. Any last questions, folks? All right. Well, you're closer to the weekend than we are, so I hope you have a great weekend. So, all right. Thank you all for joining today. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you,
Thanks.
Karen.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, bye,
Bye.
guys.